Martin, it's a processor, and I looked at this and I thought that's another processor review and the price tag will be used car hefty, but it's not.
Correct. So this is an interesting product category, I think, and Emotiva is an interesting company as well. And you may not be as familiar with them here in the UK, because stateside they use a direct B2C or business to consumer model. So there are no middlemen, there are no stores or salespeople from which you buy them. You buy direct, so it's a little bit like SVS in that respect. And interestingly, both those brands, SVS and Emotiva, are distributed by Karma AV in Yorkshire, who have a massive portfolio of AV brands and are a pretty impressive company in themselves. So anyway, the MC1 is Emotiva's most basic or pared down preamp, multi-channel preamp processor, and the BasX branding is probably appropriate. And for BasX, you can read BasX if you like, but this very much is not a toy. It actually retails for as little as $12.99, which is still great value, I think, over this side of the pond, although it is a little cheaper stateside. And of course, stateside, you are buying direct, so there's a lot of different parameters if you buy these units over there. So it's a little difficult to compare. And of course, all our distributors here have to pay VAT as well. So it's loaded, this issue of stuff being more expensive over here. But I think this is a great way to make a start on going down the route of a pre and power amp combo. And I think this is probably what everyone who is into AV and home cinema will eventually aspire to if they don't already. But this product gives you the opportunity to upgrade as and when funds allow, because you can buy a processor like this, and of course you can buy budget power amplifiers, and when you get to it you may decide to upgrade preamp, and so it goes on. But the MC1 can decode 13.2 channels of audio, which you can assign to, if you're using all the channels, to a 7.2.6. Yes, that's 6 overheads.
Blimey.
Or you can trade 2 of those overhead channels for 2 widths. And that's very clearly marked out in the manual how you do that. But of course, that encompasses Dolby Atmos, DTS:X, and will pass through all of the HDR flavors, including Dolby Vision. So this box basically just decodes surround sound and not much else. And this is another reason why I like this box. I just like boxes that do what they're meant to and do it
the
well.
Ron Seal effect.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think it's a worthy product category, and it's not a common one either. In fact, there are not many manufacturers who are doing this. And of course, I know people cite Tone Winner, Chinese company, who do have products in a similar category. There's another company stateside called Outlaw, but they've never done a I don't think they've ever done an immersive audio preamplifier. So it's kind of a unique category, and like I said, I like it. It's this the MC1 is less than a 2U rack height, which I think is also a delight, rather than the common 3 or 4 rack heights. It only weighs 4.5 kilograms and is only 33 centimeters deep. So that's perfect for making all your 15 or more connections, and gives you a lot of potentially space at the back of your shelf cabinet as well. If you actually look at the processor with the hood open, it doesn't look like there are that much electronics in there, and that's why it does come in at that very nice, manageable weight. Although it's nicely built, the front vacuum fluorescent display is a little bit cheap feeling. I always like a few audio brand logos to pop up, but that would add obviously to the base manufacturer cost, and that will be passed on to you. So again, no frills. It does what it says on the tin. The setup menu is also a bit clunky. It doesn't use a walkthrough guide or even stick to a kind of more linear approach. I mean, even the more esoteric preamplifiers make it a little bit easy, but I did feel I was fumbling backwards and forwards to get to the start of where I needed to be in the setup.
Did it become more intuitive over time?
Yes, it did, actually, to be fair. Yes. And once you've got a hold on it, there is actually plenty of customization of sources and tweaking available to you. The MOQ room correction itself did a nice job in my room. It identified some nasty frequency dips and corrected them. And it only takes a few minutes to complete. So that was a big surprise. I mean, I think it was about 5 or 10 minutes. I didn't time it, but it shoots these very loud test tones at you and seems to sort out the room sort of reasonably quickly. It also has this interface of graphs where it shows you what those dips and those troughs and peaks are and how they are being corrected, which is quite a nice feature. And even I measured the distances with the tape measure, not with the laser measure. And actually, the distance measurements that came back from the auto test tones and auto measurements from the MOQ were almost completely spot on. So I was quite impressed with that as well. Yeah. Dialogue, music, and sound effects I felt, precision placement in the soundstage, and the audio can really engulf you. I did think the sound could be a little clinical sounding, but to be fair, that could also be a symptom of its accuracy. And I would also not expect a product like this to sound like a Storm Audio or a Lingdorf or a Trinov. It's just a different category of product. But, like I said, again, it's a great starter for somebody who is looking to upgrade and build out as their budget increases.